with Tyler and Dave. Band meeting with Tyler and Dave. Band meeting. Yeah.
What's up?
Oh, just hanging out, just hanging out.
You're hanging out and then you're grilling out later today. You're going to grill out.
That's how you do it here in the South.
Hey, Dave. So it's episode number 22. We just found out 22 episodes went by and pretty quick,
Just think about how many
fun.
Just think about how many episodes we'd have if there was no COVID.
Well, I don't know.
None.
None. The correct answer is none. So really, if you'd like to see the podcast continue, we'll just keep the COVID going.
Yeah. Just trying to put a positive spin on COVID.
How do we put a positive spin on
COVID brought you band meeting with Tyler and Dave. You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly. What's been going on lately? Not much. We canceled those shows in September, which is I think would we still be out right now?
Yeah, somebody texted me the other day, maybe 2 days ago, and said, "Was I supposed to be doing something tonight?" "Oh yeah, going to your show in Chattanooga." And I was like, "Oh,
that was going to be Chattanooga."
Tonight? Yeah, it was a couple nights ago.
I love that venue too. That's a good venue. I think we only played there once. That was with the radio show.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. The great backstage, even though we probably wouldn't be hosting, big get-togethers, but that
was when you bought a bunch of your friends and your wife's friends, and then I was in there like changing into like back into my regular clothes, and I was like butt naked.
Yeah, and they're a bunch of doctors, and they're like, bend over.
Yeah, they're like, that's a weird looking.
That's just the end of the sentence right there. That's a weird looking.
I was trying to think of something, like that was a weird looking mole. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's weird looking. That's just weird looking. I'm like, what is all of you?
Yeah,
just you as a whole.
I love it.
We were talking before this about a couple of anniversaries. It's the you said, Dave. Tomorrow was September 16th, so it's not tomorrow, but September 17th, which is already passed, was the 19-year anniversary of our first record.
Yeah, so September 17th would be 19 years since our first record came out. That's pretty wild to think about.
So I'm going to kick into some.
Here we go.
Leg to stand on. Ready?
No, but let's do it.
No, that's not it. That's not how it goes. But
yeah,
that's probably how
it's all capoed in the.
Yeah. Get on your horse and ride.
I got some really good memories from making that record, actually. So it's. I think about like the 19 years ago. Me and you were just like driving in your rusty Honda Civic to the studio.
Yeah, the thing was
until it just died.
It did.
Broke
at the studio.
At the studio.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun making that record. It was the least out of all the records we made. It was the least like work. Like it was just like every day it was show up, go eat and drink, go get some food, go get some wings.
Yeah, those wings that they made at the Cactus Club.
Yeah, so good.
What was the sauce? They put some. It was some sort of. It was a hot wings, or it was the dip. It was the dip. There was the Parmesan,
creamy
Parmesan dip, and I used to just dip them and then just lick the dip was so good. And then we used to have those. What were those bowls that had the
teriyaki chicken rice bowl?
Yeah, we got the teriyaki chicken rice bowl, and they had the whatchamacallits in it, the sliced.
Water chestnuts, not mine. I'd ask for no water chestnuts.
Every time. It was like me, you, and Joey Moy would go out there.
Yeah.
It was so good. It's interesting is like, because it's also the 20-year anniversary of September 11th. And I remember when that happened, me and you were still working. So I remember I got up at like 6 a.m. and watched the second plane hit live on TV.
I swear you were talking to me on the phone.
Was I talking to you on the phone? Did I call you? I was like, dude,
you called me and you were like, I remember you saying, a plane hit one of the Twin Towers, and I didn't even know what the Twin Towers were. We live in Vancouver, British Columbia. We were on the other side of North America. I wasn't a traveled kid. I hadn't been around. I probably had seen the pictures of the skyline, but when you said that, I couldn't wrap my head around what you were talking about. I was like, what are you talking about here? And then I swear, I feel like I was talking to you on the phone and you were telling me what it was. And then you were like, oh man, a plane just hit the other tower. And I'm like, I'm going home. I was already working. I was driving my work truck, driving around, and I'm like, I'm going home. And I just drove home
excuse.
And watched, just went right straight home and watched news. Like I still, my wife and I were just reminiscing about this because we were watching something, and in our 40 some odd years of life, I can't think of another event that impacted me like that one did. And I mean, I'm talking about not even having been, we're Canadian kids, but there was something about the pictures, the images, it really was an impactful thing. And I still think about it, and it gives me chills to think about just those moments.
Yeah, it's pretty, it was very surreal. It was weird to watch. And then me and Tim went down to New York to meet with our managers.
Mm-hmm.
They flew me and Tim there because they wanted to manage us. They flew us down there, so I went down to, I think me and Tim went down to Ground Zero there.
Yeah.
To see how big it was, to see that there was just nothing there. But it was still all the stuff, the big rubble and everything. They had a wall up, so you couldn't really see what they're doing. But yeah, it was messed up. But
it's made me think recently about some of the military shows we've done. It's cool because these people they're so gracious when we go play these shows. It blows my mind. We go to Japan, for example, and we're there for it's like a 36-hour trip or something, and they're like, "Thank you so much for being here. Oh man, thank you. You don't know what it means to us." And I'm just like, what? We're here for 36 hours, how about thank you for being here? You've changed your whole life. Here you are, and your family is here. You guys live on this base, and man, it's there's some serious sacrifice. And a lot of it was caused by 9/11. I think a lot of military were people were driven in because of that event. And I get it. I mean, after sort of experiencing it, seeing it, I mean, we grew up in Canada. I mean, it's literally, there's no military almost. You don't grow up and see people in fatigues or stuff like that at the airports as much, it's a different kind of mentality. I remember thinking it was you get to a city where there's a base and you see a lot of people in fatigues, and I'm like, man, this is strange. There's a lot of military here, but that's because they're on the base. That's where they live.
Yeah. Yeah. September 11 proved one thing. The one thing that the terrorists didn't put into their equation was that, the adverse effect that they had, that it didn't work. It actually did the opposite. It actually brought all these people together.
Yeah.
And it actually, there was a massive uptick in people joining the military after that event. So it just kind of proved otherwise, that it was a waste of time. It did nothing, which is the one good thing you take away from it. Brought everyone together.
Yeah.
But we were both working.
Remember right after that, just the feeling of patriotism. You know what? It was it felt like never a time before where people were just after that, it was just to be American. It was, I mean, you could see it.
Yeah. The international community came together. Yeah. It was the parallels of, with Pearl Harbor, same thing. Someone attacked Americans and killed Americans on American soil. Same thing. Everyone kind of came together. We both still worked, but it was shortly after that was when we went in and started tracking our first record.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we quit our jobs on Christmas Eve or something?
And my last day of work was Christmas Eve, and that's only because I worked for my uncle. I probably would have quit a lot earlier, but I knew I was going to leave him up shit creek. So, I mean, I literally worked till Christmas Eve, and then we went in the studio Boxing Day, which is December 26th. So, I mean, I worked right up until the last minute. He wasn't very grateful for it either, to tell you the truth.
He wasn't?
I don't know. I didn't feel like he was all that grateful for the fact that I kept on working. I could have just jumped ship, been like, I'm done. I'm done with this. But
yeah. Well, that was back in Canada when it used to snow all the time. Remember how much snow there was when we were in the studio? Because it covered my car. My car broke down, and you couldn't even see my car. It was just snow.
Yeah, it was a full foot of snow.
And then we recorded for, I think, 4 years or something. We recorded so long that it got to spring and the snow melted, and then my car was there. And then we got in one day, and I started, and it worked. And I drove it home. I think at the end of the recordings, after we're done, finished recording,
we know the record will be done when the Civic starts again.
Yeah, it's like we're like,
how do we know we're going to be done this record? When the Honda Civic rolls again.
Yeah, but that was good times. Yeah, we rented a car. That was when good old Ram Diaz came in.
Yep.
Tracked. We didn't know him at all. He was there doing some other project, and then and the old Ram Diaz came in, who we ran into in Nashville.
He's out with Candlebox. That's right.
Good old Ram Diaz. Yeah,
love Robin. He has a Robin Diaz. A little quick shout out to Robin Diaz. He's got such a great, infectious, positive attitude. He's always happy, always like upbeat, always happy to see you. I love those kind of guys. Robin Diaz.
Yeah, and he's been playing drums a long time.
He's an amazing drummer.
Yeah, until Joe came in, he played drums on our first 3 records.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good studio time, man. And then then we hopped on the road. He had 19 years. He came out. That's weird. The first record. I remember shooting the first music video. That's when Ron Berman, who was our air guy, flew out. And he's like, "Hey, man, Tyler, you want to go in a helicopter?" I'm like, "Sure." And there was some dude there with a helicopter at the shoot. And he took the doors off. Me and Ron Berman went up, no doors. And he went super close, like the mountains and stuff. It's like,
yeah, they asked me if I wanted to go, and I was like, pass.
You're just waiting to see the headlines.
I'm like, man,
singer of some band.
Is our first record even out?
Yeah, first record wasn't even out. We're shooting the music video. But that was like a high-end music video. Like, I think it cost probably like $250,000. And it had like the camera that was like a robot. Mm-hmm. So it filmed the same thing every time. So we stood in the middle of the road and we filmed, and then we had to pretend there was a truck coming, and like moved at the last minute, and then the truck would go by, and then they filmed the truck with the same camera. So then you put the two together, and it looks like we're literally like step out of the way.
Well, the best part of that was when you flicked off the piece of rubble from your shoulder. That was the slickest thing.
I think that was not my idea. That was, yes. I thought the best thing about the music video, I thought, was the introduction to the handlebar mustache. Yeah,
the rock star makeover. They're like, all right, what are we gonna do with this group of 4 turds here? How are we gonna polish these guys? How are we gonna polish these guys up?
The rock and roll shower. He's like, I'm scrubbing. There's not
scrub harder. Scrub harder.
What about face tat? Can we get these guys some face tattoos? Yeah, the rock and roll shower is it's something we call when you have like a group of dudes that are just a group of. We were just a group of dudes, so we didn't look like rock stars at all. We didn't dress like it, and so they had to like try to rock stars up. So the label's like, we got to get you wearing cooler clothes. You know, what are we gonna do with a singer? And it's just like, and it was their idea to give me the handlebar mustache, so it was their fault. And then they dyed your hair blonde. Remember, Dave? They were like. Or your hair was like white or something.
Yeah, it was.
And then like we did a photo shoot, and it like your head blended into the sky, and it looked like your head stopped.
Yeah, it was overexposed, so it just like disappeared.
And we did that photo shoot down in Delta by the train on the train tracks, which was like that was a kind of an epitomous. That's where they shot the angel. Mm-hmm. Antonio Cupo was the angel, a friend of ours who's an actor and director and stuff. Now but remember the train would come and we'd have to like jump off the tracks, and it went down like a hill. You couldn't just walk off.
Well, because they want to try to get pictures with the train in the background and stuff. Stand by me moments.
Train. Yeah, and that was back in the day. As usual, everything was still on film. So like when they shot there was no digital camera, so the camera was all film. So I remember like we went to New York, and then they had all of the photos, and they were on these sheets, and they were just all the photos, and we got this little eye thing, and you get to look.
Yeah, this is the moment I realized early on that this playing in a band wasn't going to be all fun and games.
And we had to look, and every single photo, one of us had our eyes closed. I remember it was like, it was so hard to find. We sucked so bad we couldn't keep our eyes open. We're just like, "Hey, you guys ready?" We're like, "Yep." And then someone would be like this, and every photo.
Now they ask, they're like, "We need you guys to approve photos," and I don't even look. I'm like, I approve them all.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you
guys
just
watch this
I don't care. You know
clip
what? If you
promo,
want to release this picture, release it. If you guys feel like it's a good one, if the other three guys are good, I'll bite the bullet. I don't care.
Well, Dave, they usually like put you so far in the background. They're like, "Dave, your name's Dave, right? Or is it Rick? Go back farther."
I'm telling you, every single music video we've ever shot, I've gone up to the director and I'm like, "Listen, the label's going to tell you got to make sure you get a little bit of each member of the band, a little bit." And I'm like, "You don't need to get me, okay? Just put me in. I'm not going to get offended. I don't want to be in the video." Every single video we've ever shot, I've done that for real. Like when nobody's around, I go up to the director. I'm like, "Don't worry about putting me in a bunch. Like I don't want to be in the video a bunch." Bare minimum, buddy. Bare minimum.
It's your usual MO.
Yeah.
It's
hard for me. And then music videos are tough. If we were performing the song, I could perform for the music video, but they want you to fake it and have fake energy, fake big energy, and it's never feels natural. And I'm always just
you got to rock out way harder.
Yeah. They want you to rock out way harder, and I'm not good at that stuff.
And Joe's playing on drums that they're all muted. They're double skinned and double cymballed, so they don't actually. So they go go ka ka ka.
Yeah.
And Joe's like go ka ka go ka ka go ka ka, and it sounds so silly. And he's like pretending to rock out. And Dean is ferociously playing his bass, and it's not even plugged in.
Yeah, that's the treatments, the video treatments. So good.
Yeah, we got so, and that's another thing we used to do back in the day before there was like really email and stuff. They would send you all these treatments, and we would sit there and read through treatments, and it'd be like scripts.
You'd manila envelope, and you'd open it up. There'd be like 15 video treatments in it,
and there'd be like a cover
email.
Page.
I think it was email in like the 70s or something like that. Before email, we were getting these things.
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah,
that's amazing.
And then remember, all of our videos were shot on film. And so they'd have this guy that has this little tent. So the guy would have to, when they'd have to change film canisters, you can't expose the film to light. So they put these in this little tent thing, and he put his hands in. Almost like it's like
so
nuclear
much
waste.
Money to make videos back then. It was ridiculous.
It was cool though. We got to kind of witness all that, like where everything was like, we do a shot. Okay, we're gonna do a close up of Tyler, and they would do the shot, and they would do it like 3 times the whole song. Like, okay, let's take a break. We're gonna do a new setup. We're gonna go now. We're gonna Dave's face or something, and it would take like 45 minutes because they would have to like set up these rails, train tracks that the camera would be on this like trolley, this dolly, and they would get pushed by like 4 people, and it would take forever to set up these new things. And so we would just go into a trailer or go to craft service and eat candy. 45 minutes. And then we did the low life video, and it was like 3 dudes with Canon 5Ds, and they would all shoot at the same time.
Yep.
And it was like the video was over in like 4 hours. We're like, this is how you do it.
That's because we had to. We had flights that afternoon. We literally were like raced out of there as soon as we did the last shot.
Right.
We jumped in our moving car and raced to the airport.
And that's when there was a day off in Nashville, and so all the crew had a day off. When the crew have a day off, they party.
Well, they had a day off with band, with the band away too, right? So
they're lighting off fireworks, and the cops came or something, and then they all got hammered. And we land in Nashville at the airport, and there's no one to pick us up. We don't even know where the hotel is.
Yeah,
no one's answering their phones. They're all drunk and passed out. We finally got a hold of one of our crew guys. He's like, hello. I'm like, what's going on? Where's the hotel? Like, who's picking us up? Yeah, that was good times. That was a good video shoot. That was when that we blew that shit up, like probably illegal. Blew up that thing and blew out windows, and
yeah, it was awesome.
Donald Logue was in it.
Blew out the neighbor's windows with the explosion.
I remember they said we can only do this once, and they had a line on the ground. They're like, we got to make sure you guys are past the death line before we push the button. Okay, make sure you pass this line. Now, whatever you do, don't react to the explosion.
I couldn't help it.
Because you can only do it once. So when it went off, it was going to be slow-mo, like we were like in a movie. And of course, first thing Dave does is like, what the hell, man?
Couldn't help
you react
it, man.
to
I knew
it?
it was coming. Yeah, I reacted. For sure, I reacted.
Let's do it again. We can't. Half
It was
of
hot.
Tampa's on fire.
You could feel the heat.
Where did was that Jacksonville? Where was
Jacksonville, yeah.
that? Yeah, it was good times.
Oh, that's a long time ago, too. I don't know when that album came out. We're not talking 19 years for that one, but
2011. So that's 10 years ago, man. Yeah, we've talked about doing like a 20-year anniversary. You could do a show there. I mean, we could do a 10. I mean, we're already past the 10-year anniversary of. We've always talked about doing the anniversaries of something, and then they pass, and we don't do it. Like we could have done the 10-year anniversary of Scars, 10-year anniversary of Truth Is. Now it's the 10-year.
Isn't that
anniversary.
somebody's job to do that? Like I'm not the guy.
It's ours, Dave.
I am not very good at keeping tab on that stuff.
It's ours. Buck stops here.
I don't know. 10 years ago, what? Something happened 10 years ago. What year? What year is it right now? That's the problem.
Time has stood still. We are going to go on tour, though. We are going to tour.
People say that to me. You forgot my birthday. Wait, your birthday's September 13th. Yeah, it's September 15th. It was 2 days ago. Oh, September 15th? Man, happy birthday. I know your birthday. I just don't know what day it is right now. That's the problem.
You just remind me of the guy, the dad from Step Brothers. Say, what do you? Oh, I'm going to go down to Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Christmas
It's
Eve.
Christmas. Oh, Merry Christmas. It's my birthday. Oh, happy birthday. This is so awesome. You smell like cheesecake and cheap whiskey, or was it? It was. I'd say it was like it's the best night of my life. Well, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, we've watched Step Brothers quite a few times. That's a good one.
Yeah. That's why, like, every time I think about get back on the road, it really is just hanging out and watching TV shows. It is. I see a lot of our friends are out there. I follow a ton of people and see they're just having the time. Like I saw it was Chris from Blackstone. They did their first show back in the UK.
I know.
They do really well over there. And he was crying after the show or something. He's like, these are real tears, you know. Yeah, it's like it's getting out on the road and touring. This is what all we do. It's therapeutic. I was
just watching a Leonard Skinner documentary, and it's pretty cool. They talk about just, you know, working their butts off kind of early on and making no money and playing all these shows, and any money they made they put back into recording 2 songs at the studio and back on tour. But they had a couple records out, and then they went to the UK, and they're like, man, they treat us like the Beatles over there. It made me think of Blackstone Cherry. I'm like, man, those guys they just love them in the UK. That's like a band. They've just connected. They understand each other. And I kind of get it. Leonard, same with Skinner. It was like the same idea.
Yeah. Well, they're a great band. We've done some shows over there with the Blackstone Cherry, as they call them there in Scotland. The Blackstone Cherry.
That was a fun tour.
Yeah, but we've toured with Blackstone like when they started, right? I think.
John Fred messaged me on MySpace when we were first like touring, and he sent me a message and said, hey man, I play in this band called Blackstone Cherry. We think you guys are awesome. Love to play some show. I don't remember even the details. And I hit him back up and I was like, man, you guys are awesome. I love your stuff. And then I swear it was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years later, Roadrunner signed them, and we played a show in Rockford, Illinois, and they were on the bill, and I was like, this is that band. And John Fred came up to me that day, and he's like, I don't know if you remember. And I'm like, I remember. I know exactly what you're going to say. You hit me up on MySpace, and we had like a big hug, like, I can't believe we just met. And
he came up to you, or did your bodyguard like have him removed?
This is before I had those bodyguards, multiple bodyguards.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's way back.
Right. I can't get recognized at our show after we've
on
played.
Stage. Dave can't get recognized on stage. It's you. Well, you and Joe get mixed up a lot.
Yeah, people always tell me that I'm a great
I
drummer.
think it bothers Joe a
Thank
lot.
you. Thank you. I always tell Joe the messages.
Man,
Hey,
great drum solo.
Joe, you're a great drummer. Oh, what? Yeah, somebody told me. They thought I was you, but they complimented me
It's
very
a compliment's a compliment.
Yeah. They complimented me very wholeheartedly, and I wanted to pass it on to you. You're a great drummer, Joe.
And also, a person outside wants the guitar player's autograph, so you got to go out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Black Sun Cherry. Yeah, there's one of those bands just like Hailstorm, like we've been playing with forever. Even like bands like Shinedown, same thing. When we're playing with Shinedown, like way back in the day, like I remember when Brent came over, we were working on Scars and Souvenirs.
Yep.
And then he came over to, I think it was your room.
Yeah, he came over to our
and he played us. Yeah, right. It was your room, right? He played some demos of.
He played Crow and the Butterfly.
Yeah, I can't remember what they played, but I remember he wanted me to sing on Crow and the Butterfly. He's like, "You want to sing on this?" I'm like, "Yeah." I love the song. I think it's still my favorite song on that record.
Yeah, it's good.
And then it didn't happen, but he did come in the studio and he sang on "So Happy."
Yeah,
and I remember he's like, "What do you want me to do?" I'm like, "I don't know, just sing something super high or something." And he was just, "I'm so happy that I threw you away." I'm like, "Yeah, just like that." So he's gone, and he did like a bunch of them, like super, like ah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That record was awesome. Like, it's interesting, like that record, how like I don't remember like how a lot of those songs even came about. Like, there was so many songs written that when we were done recording, we went and continued and recorded more songs up in Vancouver. Like we did B-sides, but they were like more, and they were good. Like I remember we were with what's his name at the warehouse there, Mike Fraser. Yes, legendary Mike Fraser. AC/DC. And that's when there was still MySpace, and I remember our new songs came out on our MySpace page, and I think it was So Happy. They released it to our MySpace, and we were in the studio watching on MySpace how many listens we were getting. We're like, wow, it was a lot. I don't know what our lot was back then, but we're like, okay, this is something's happening here. We're like, something's happening. But then we went up, we recorded Villain.
That's right. That's one.
I love that song. The villain always wins when the hero's away. And Shadow, was that Shadow?
Yeah, that's another awesome one.
Written about Lane Staley, one of my favorites. Total Alice in Chains kind of style.
That's when the label had this great idea that we'd release the record, and then later we'd release a re-release of the record with all this unreleased material. So that we could, so that people that already bought the record would go back in and buy it. And this is just the brilliance of labels. And then they released it all on day one. We're like,
that was the truth is. That's right.
Was that what it?
Yeah, that was the labels. They realize there's only a certain amount of people that will buy your record. So then what happens is they know this. So then what they do is they try to get the same people to buy your record multiple times. Right. So that they put bonus footage, like, oh, this is a bonus one. Well, Scars, we did a bonus one, which had extra songs on it, had acoustic versions. I think it was like 20 songs or 18 or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that.
And the truth is, the same thing, because B-sides originally came from, when a record had two sides. So you would release a single, and you had to put something on the back of it. So the Beatles would have a B-side, usually turn out to be a massive hit for the Beatles. Can't remember some of their famous B-sides, but they were like as big as their A-sides. So the labels were obsessed.
They're not just writing garbage on the B-sides. It's usually it's still, it's another good song.
Yeah. Yeah. So the B-sides they were obsessed. Our A&R guy was obsessed with the B-sides. Like, we're going to need at least 3 B-sides here. Like, what for?
I remember that.
We always complain because we're like, well, if it doesn't make the record, it's not that good. Like, it's something we don't really want people to hear. But now we have to.
The goal should never be to go and make write B-sides. I don't understand the goal here. The B-sides are stuff that you have left over. Don't send us into the studio to write B-sides. It's like, hey, son, go on there and do that math test. Go get a C.
It's like cutting the crust off your sandwich and then saving the crust and eating them later. It doesn't make sense. I don't know the analogy, but yeah. So they're obsessed. So we're like, all right, God damn it, fine. So then we figured out we would do acoustic versions of song. We're like, well, it's an acoustic version. But then it was always like for Japan, overseas. They like to do different stuff. I'm not sure why any of that mattered, but whatever worked, whatever they wanted. But yeah. So on the Truth Is record, it was the same thing. It's like, we need a bunch of B-sides. So we're like, okay. So then they released it all on day one. We're like, what happened? Yeah. What happened?
You could buy the album for $9.99 or the extended version for like $11.99 with 19 songs on it or something. I'm like,
yeah.
What'd you guys do?
Yeah. We're like, what? The whole strategy is to release it and then like 6 months down the road, go, hey guys, and you sell it to the same people. But that's how labels work. But those days are gone. There's no B-sides anymore. There's the budgets have changed. Now it's just like, you make 10 songs, 11 songs, that's it. Like, you're not going to record 15 songs and then the label's not going to give you the money to do that. They're like, well, what are we going to do with these? So, which honestly, we're happy about it because if there's a song we don't feel is really fitting the vibe, we don't want people to hear it. So, we save that for the Tupac stuff when we have like multiple songs that never got released.
If there's a song that we're not really feeling, like, we don't want you to pay your hard-earned money, at least not on opening day. We want you to buy that with your hard-earned money a few months later.
That's right. We care about our fans. Kind of. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. But I don't know what it was about that record, Scars, but there was definitely like a different strategy. I was trying to discuss that with you the other day. I was talking about A&Ring, and I kind of A&R things. A&R is like a person that would go, it works at the label that takes care of like songs for bands. Back in the day, their job was literally just to go out and find songs for bands. Like Elvis didn't write, so the A&R guy would have to go find songs for Elvis, and Elvis would just sing them. So A&R now, bands write majority of their music, so now he just picks the songs and determines what would make sense. So I kind of like do that as well, where I will strategically be like, okay, the song needs a few more rockers. We need a couple of, back like 10 years ago, it actually mattered if you had crossover songs. I'd always think about like, we need a couple of crossover songs, like a Not Meant to Be, an All or Nothing, because those go to like Pod AC and Pop.
It's like writing a novel, Ty. You write your outline. You're like, let's see, what do I need here? Yeah. I need the climax, which is the hit.
Yeah, well, you got your three. Yeah, you're just like writing a script. You got your three whatchamacallits. You have your red herring there. Yeah, and we used to like think about like, I used to think about like what a great opening track would be. Like if someone like got the disc and they push play.
Track order is my favorite.
What's that?
Track order is my favorite.
Yeah, like what is going to be the first? It's like when you listen to verses from Pearl Jam. Was it Go was the opening track?
I think so.
But then when it goes into Animal, it's just like it's just like it's this certain energy. And you're like, hey, this is great. This is great.
Yeah.
So it's just like
it's well thought out.
Yeah. So that's kind of A&Ring, where like you really think out the whole thing. Like, what would be a great opening track? And I don't know. I guess maybe with streaming, with no more crossover, there's no pop or how do you see for rock anymore. It's just like I don't know. You kind of lost. I personally kind of lost that kind of side of it. Of just like thinking about what would be a great opening track, because there is no opening track. It's just stream. People just go. I guess they push. Yeah, I guess they listen to more singles, but and then you don't really think about it. It'd be a great like crossover. Like think of something like By the Way, or something that would cross over like Since You've Been Gone or Santa Monica. But on the new record we're working on, like we'll hopefully have out, what were we thinking, maybe in the studio early next year?
Yes. That's what we've been talking about.
I kind of told you the other day, I've gone back to kind of being more like at this A&R where I'm just kind of been planning stuff and trying to find what would be a great intro track. What would be a great, like, need a couple of these, So I'm kind of more focused on that. I'm really excited. So we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be. It's weird because we released a record and then COVID hit, so it's almost like the record that never happened. We never really supported it. We did one tour where we maybe played 1 or 2 songs from it.
Yeah,
it's strange, but yeah, I already feel like it's so long ago. Ready to start making new music, and I obviously want to get back on the road and play more shows, but just feel like we need to make some more current music again too. It'd be nice to do that next year, and then next summer get on an awesome big summer tour, play for 10,000 people every night. Perfect.
Definitely something we usually around Christmas. I think they start putting that stuff together. What's crazy, Dave, is come January, which is not long from now, it'll be 2 years since that record came out.
I know. It's insane.
And I think we played
30 shows, maybe. I don't know. How many did we play on the Canadian tour? 20?
23 shows. Yeah, it's sad.
No, it's really sad. It's a little depressing.
But yeah, when I was texting with the head of radio over at our label, it's like, when are you guys making new stuff? What's going on? And I'm like, all right, we're working on it. Next year. Great to have something out by early summer, like a single. It takes forever. People are like, why can't you have something out now? It's like, it takes forever. Even if we went in the studio in January, you wouldn't hear a single until June. It takes forever.
It takes forever, and that's with you hounding everybody all the time. Hey, what's going on? What's going on with this? You said so-and-so was mixing it on a Friday, and now it's Monday. What's going on?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm on. What's going on?
You have to.
But, it takes a while. But, he was texting me. He said, what's going on? What's it going to sound like? And I'm like, I don't know. How about Theory meets Theory of a Dead Man? It made no sense. He's like, I like it. So that's the new thing now. What's the new record going to sound like? Theory meets Theory of a Dead Man. They're like, I like it. I like it.
It's the kind of thing you can definitely sell to a label. And they're just like, it needs to be confusing enough that they need to look smart by understanding it. Joey from Friends, just laugh at. If everyone laughs at the joke, they'll laugh at the joke.
Yeah, I love that episode of It's a Kill Cliff, Dave.
Shotgun
I still got a few left.
Smash it against your head and then shotgun it. What's the smashing against your head thing? Why do people need to smash the can against their face?
I don't know, but I know why they do it.
Is anything getting
drank? That's why you correct. So you got all these.
Dude, how many beers did you drink tonight?
Yes.
28.
That's right. Yeah. 28 Coors Light.
28 off the forehead.
That's right. So every video you watch with a guy he headbutts it and it explodes, and he drinks the foam and he throws it away and it's like half full. I was like, that's why he's doing it. It's because he's not actually drinking the beer. I don't know what the thing is with the bottle where they lick it and then they go up and then they swirl it and does like swirl it. What's with the lick at the beginning?
To me, that requires more talent.
Yeah, and they drink the whole thing. They actually, I mean, you could smash a bottle against your head and then drink whatever's left. That would be that I would like to see.
I like the smash fails, like the people that smash it repeatedly and really they're just smashing a brick into their head, and those people I feel like they're getting what they deserve, kind of. So
yeah, and then Will Smith's character from Concussion is just like, yeah, I love it. It's great. I would endorse that. I would endorse more smashing on the head of Killcliff.
Send your videos.
Send us your videos of you smashing Killcliff in your head. People are like, no, you can't do that. They'll hurt themselves. People, they don't need to listen to us. They are going to do it anyways.
No.
I was watching this show, and me and a couple of friends, we watch really bad television.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't really got into the housewives of, what are those shows? The housewives of Orange County,
of Atlanta.
But there's so many of them. I'm like, we got to get into this because it's going to be terrible. Like, it's going to be so much fun. So we're watching the 98 Fiance the other way and stuff. It's insane. It's ridiculous. So terrible, but it's fun. So there was this new show, and there's this girl, and she's 16, and she's the queen of TikTok. She has 100 and something million followers on TikTok, the most in the whole world. She's 16, So it's her and her family, and her sister, who's older, has like, 50 million followers. And they literally she's like, it's her. This is what she does. And the thing is, I was watching the show and I felt so bad for her because the other shows, you watch these 40-something-year-old women that are married to rich men and they have all plastic surgery and, they're adults, right? So you make fun of them because you're like, well, I mean, you're an adult. So, but I could not I felt so bad. I could not make fun of this 16-year-old girl and her sister because I'm like, they're kids. Imagine being a kid and literally she does silly dances on TikTok and having 100 and something million followers. And now, of course, all these companies are just like, ah. And she's 16 and
you're grounded.
She's just like, what's that?
You're grounded. But I have to get I have to go and make a message for my TikTok followers. Well, not this week. Give me your phone.
That's right. You're grounded. No TikTok for a week. Mom, I just lost $4 million to my endorsers. Yeah, it was kind of sad to watch because it just happened so fast. And of course, being kids, they don't know what they're doing. Like, they don't know how to respond to negative criticism. All their criticism is like, you're ugly, you suck, you're a loser. And of course, they all take it to heart because they're 16. And it's like, oh man, I felt bad. But TikTok, I don't know anything about TikTok. I ask people all the time, like, so what is it like what's with the dancing? Like, no, I mean, you can do whatever you want on there, but it's definitely not, I had to ask a friend the other day, I'm like, so is Instagram becoming like the new Facebook? And they're like, yes. I'm like, oh, okay. TikTok's the new, and I guess in a year there'll be some new thing that's the new TikTok. TikTok will be for like 30-year-old.
Too old for the new and the new and the new. I just need the old to stick around.
And the old is what? Facebook? My mom's,
I don't know,
sends me stuff on Facebook all the time.
I guess Facebook. I never really got into Facebook, but I guess that would be the old. I don't like any of them, to tell you the truth. I'm pretty bad with the social media. I don't understand a lot of that stuff, and I'm definitely turning to my parents.
It's fine.
And I get it now. I'm like,
necessary.
I get it.
Yeah, I don't have a Facebook, but everyone thinks I do. They I followed you on Facebook. I'm like, I don't have one. Yeah, you do. I'm like, I think there's some fake ones. Someone will send me like, this person's fake. I'm like, I don't care. Pretend you're me. If you're giving someone money, don't be giving people money. Why would you ever give me money? Hey man, can you give me $20? Why would you ever give me money?
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't care if someone's fake. Makes me look good. I'm like, someone's pretending to be me? Oh yeah. No. But no, I set up a fake Facebook account to try to trick our merch guy on Tinder, because in order to get a Tinder, you have to have a Facebook or something.
Right.
So of course he was on Tinder all the time, talking about how he's always picking up chicks or something like that. I was looking for dates.
And so he brought a couple to some shows. Didn't he play some shows in like Europe and like Russia? He brought two
Tinder girls, the same. We were out dinner, and they're sitting
after the show.
We're at dinner. There's these two Tinder chicks sitting beside him. I'm like, so what are you gonna do? Just pick one at the end of the night? What's going on?
What a mistake. Pretty much need to hire him back.
I think so. Yes, it might happen. Me and him have some stories. But yeah, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I try to make this fake profile so he would be interested in this girl named Tyra O'Connell.
That's right.
And then, but then you have to create a Facebook. And of course, then I had to create a fake background on the Facebook because you're obviously going to check the Facebook out. And so I pretended
a girl in a Boston Bruins jersey.
Yeah, she went to like some Harvard or something, and I put a couple photos up, like going to the library. And then I try to get him involved. I'm like, hey, let's party or something like that, because it shows where someone is close to you, right?
Right.
Because it's like shows you if someone's like in the same city, and I'm like, hey, let's get together tonight. And then he wouldn't respond. And then I think he finally was like, well, I knew it was you. I'm like, how'd you know it was me? He's like, dude, their Facebook was 1 day old. It shows when you make the Facebook. I'm like, damn it. And I just kept the Tyra O'Connell, and then people I started adding friends on there. I don't go to it, but My mom's on there now. I think my mom follows Tyra O'Connell, and she'll like send me stuff. I'm like, Mom, that's not real. It's fake. I don't check it. Stop sending
like,
me,
honey, you're so beautiful. You're so
stop
beautiful
sending me
in
stuff.
your Boston
Send this.
Bruins jersey.
Yeah. Stop sending me send to 10 people and you'll have good luck stuff on Facebook. She sends me those things once in a while. Good stuff. We only got one on the Dean counter today.
I know. That's all right, though. That's all right. We just need to say it once so that he, has to tell his parents and stuff to listen in.
That's right.
They mentioned me on the podcast, Dad. Oh, I'll have to listen.
Dean's parents are some of our best fans. They always come to our shows, sporting the swag. There's a couple of the nicest people ever.
His dad made my son like a traditional Danish blanket when he was born. Like,
really?
Yeah. I still have it. It's beautiful. He was so proud. He was like, I'm so happy for you, my son.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, man. Thanks, Soren. I think of you as a father.
My son. He's like, I wish you were my son. You're like,
that's the you joke.
Thank you.
Used to say was, I saw your dad, Dave. He told me he wishes that I was his.
Your dad was hanging out with some chicks in Europe.
That was a bucket list for him coming on that that tour to the UK.
Eating some gross microwaved like
shepherd's
food
pie
from Tesco.
Yeah, shepherd's pie from the gas station.
He loved it.
From the petrol station.
Parents, that's a good one. We should do parent stories. Remember Dean was, because Dean's got family from Denmark. His dad's Danish and stuff. But I remember we were in Denmark, and Dean went to some baby clothing store or something, looking for gifts or something.
Mm-hmm.
And you start talking to the shop owner, who was this older lady. And I started talking it up. And she's like, what do you do? And she's like, oh, I play in a band. We're actually playing tonight. Oh, my daughter's husband is in a band too. And it turned out it was that supermodel that was her shop. And that was her mom was working there. I can't remember her name.
Me neither. I'm just pretending like I know what you're talking about.
I'll look it up. It's and then
are you looking up the supermodel name?
Helena Christensen.
Okay, right. There you go.
Is that her name?
I don't know. You put this on me?
Yeah, that's her.
There you go. So now Dean and Helena Christensen's mom are like pen pals or what?
They're Facebook friends. She asked. I got an invite from her for Tyra O'Connell the other day. Declined. Yeah, man, what do you got going on today, Dave? It's the morning here, so.
It's raining here because there's that Gulf storm, so there's lots of rain here. So I'm just gonna take it easy. I was hoping to try to get out to the land and let the dog throw the frisbee for the dog, but she's depressed because it's been like 3 days now of just rain, and her happy place is the land. So I'm too lazy to go out in the rain.
You said you set up one of those wilderness cameras. Have you seen jack shit yet, or what?
Yeah, I saw fox.
Yeah.
Some deer.
Can you send me the stuff?
I'll send it to you. I got it on my. I'll start sending it to you. I said, but a fox, a deer, and I think a family of Bigfoot.
I was just gonna say, when's the Sasquatch gonna happen? A family of Bigfoot. Imagine if like you meet a family of Bigfoot and they speak English and they're like, "Can't believe I just met a family of Bigfoot," and he's like, "Is that what you fucking call us? That's disgusting." That's derogatory.
We have names, dude.
Bigfoot. Really? Whatever, big nose. You know what I mean? Like, they're all upset.
Yeah, right.
That sucks.
Well,
Dave, I'm getting excited already to get back on tour.
Yeah. It's time. I'm ready.
I'm beyond ready. Because after this tour, after the October run.
It was really sad to cancel those dates. I think we all were... it was a tough decision. Tough decisions.
Well, we made some tough decisions before. Like there's the story of that outdoor festival we did I don't know if I mentioned on here before. Maybe we talked about it before. I don't want to say what the festival was, but it was years ago. And we did it multiple times, and we were headlining this festival. There was thousands of people there. It was outdoors, and there was a thunder and lightning storm.
Oh yeah.
And so we were like, we're not going on stage. And they're like, okay, it's supposed to go away. So they delayed it, postponed the show. I think it kept getting pushed back. And then our tour manager's like, so what are we doing? We're going on stage? What? I was like, no, I just saw a lightning strike. And he's like, well, the weatherman's here and they say it's going the opposite direction. And I'm like, look, we're not going on stage if we see lightning in the sky. That's just period. We're not doing it. So they finally canceled the show. And I think 20 minutes later, lightning struck the where the audience was and electrocuted 2 people.
It's like 30 feet from the merch table. So think about how many people could have been there. That was a big sign for us. We've always been a band that says fight the battles when we really believe like there's something telling us that we shouldn't do this. And that I remember that. Like I remember sitting in the back of the bus with anxiety. We were all sitting back there in a circle, the 4 of us, just discussing like how do we do this? Like we can't go on stage. There's thousands of people. They're all standing under sheets of plastic. It was pouring.
That's right. I remember the huge sheet of plastic. They were just like,
and they had lowered the stage because they didn't want it to get struck by lightning.
That's right.
Like,
they lowered the stage right down.
But there's always
it's the same thing. It's like
somebody that
comes
wants there's somebody that doesn't care, that just needs the show to happen for some reason.
Yeah,
it just has to push.
Well, you get pressure from all sides, right? And so I think some people are like, So for us, like canceling a tour, we lose a shit ton of money. It's definitely not motivated by financial reasons. It's just like we're like, oh, it's gonna cost us a lot of money. So we do. It's all for us. It's all about the fans. That's why we do it.
Exactly.
That's all we think about. If it was like, let's just go make a bunch of cash. Let's go. We wouldn't. Yeah, it sucks. Sucks to cancel because obviously selfishly we want to just play.
I know,
but
especially after this hiatus.
Yeah, but we'll get back out there. October is looking good. Everything's looking like it's trending in the right direction, and it's gonna be great to get out there and for like a bit of time too. It's not like just 3 shows. It's like 6 weeks. So settle in, have some fun.
Yep.
Play some rock and roll. Play some R&R.
Play some rest and relaxation.
R&R, then some R&R, baby. Yep. Sweet.
Well, I guess we should wrap it up here.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Well, I guess since we touched upon September 11th, we should just do a big thank you to all the military for their service and their sacrifice. I think well-deserved, and I think a lot of people since 20 years, are thinking about that again. And my wife and I went for lunch yesterday, and she saw 3 guys and a lady in fatigues having lunch, and soon she'd just been watching all this stuff, and as soon as we walked in, she went right to this bar. I want to buy their lunch. And then another guy came in. I want to buy his lunch. She's on a full I want to buy every military person's meal for every opportunity I have right now. And I'm like, you do it. That's why you work, make the money you make. You can buy as many people lunch as you want right now. But I feel like now is the time. A lot of people are just kind of realizing the amazing sacrifice these people have made for this country.
Yeah. Well, we all forget sometimes, and that's okay. It happens. That's why anniversaries it's a reminder for us to go, oh, shoot, I totally forgot. So it's good once in a while to, just thank somebody.
Remind yourself.
Sweet, dude. Well, let's end it there.
Yep.
And, we got to get a live one going. We're going to get a live one. We really had fun doing that Twitch one, and it'd be cool. I think fans would like to get on there and ask some questions, and
some
vice
engagement.
Versa. Yeah. So stay tuned. We'll see you all soon, and go check out all our socials, Bammy Podcast, Kill Cliff. Peace. Bye-bye.
Bye.